what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tez. I'm here with the cast of Real and Uncomfortable. You know who I have to my right here. We got Ray-Bans, and we got E-Man Music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back, man.
Yes, sir.
Another
yes,
one.
sir. Yeah, man. So how did that, I mean, I knew you had a lot of problems with the question about women preferring bears and shit, but did you have to take on one? Like,
Right in the forest. The bear was looking at me. I'm like, yo, we gonna go at it, but no. We good.
all right.
Should have chose the man.
Technically, I could take this off if I wanted to, but you know, I don't want to get
I feel that.
get in trouble with the doctors and all that.
There it is.
I'm
there
wearing
is.
it.
Well, we're glad you made it through that ordeal. You know, bears can be quite vicious, even though, part of the population doesn't believe so. It's all good, though. Speaking of, kind of, at least in the media, a little bit dangerous, there's a bad boy in the media.
Oh,
He actually in jail.
for life. For life.
No, you know what? Let me not laugh. Yo, jail is not a funny topic.
Oh, man.
It's a very serious topic.
And there's a lot.
He can't even keep it together.
It's a lot to digest. It's a lot. I don't know if you want to,
We
throw
can
something
get
out
into it. A couple of days ago, and this has been an ongoing thing, even months ago, there were allegations that Diddy had been involved in sex trafficking, abuse, sexual assault, a bunch of numerous things. We've probably had rumors about this shit for decades now.
Yeah.
Right? So there was a warrant for his arrest put out. I believe it was the FBI took him into custody. And being in custody, there's now a bunch of things coming out, including photos.
2,000 bottles of baby oil.
Woo! But that's not against the law.
Wait.
Okay,
That's not against the law. Like, if you are partying and you are getting involved in certain activities, that's not against the law.
Let me just say this though too, because I want
Being
people
freaky
to.
is not illegal.
Yeah, people need to understand
Sex
that in the
trafficking.
media, there's a narrative being painted. And I'm not gonna say this to protect Diddy. I'm not gonna say this to protect anybody, but just be aware that some things, now when they hit your perception, because you think certain things already, it just acts as confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Kendrick gets selected for the Super Bowl, now E-Man thinks he won the beef. It's crazy.
But
So as you continue on,
Wait.
you just want to make sure.
His
You
skates
just
are
want to make
on.
sure that whatever it is, that it actually is relevant to what's going
I feel
on
like we need to-
in this
we need to- we need to
situation.
speak on
No, we're gonna bring it back. I'm letting it back. Say your piece. I'm bringing it back.
Basically, 2,000 bottles of baby oil. Crazy. This nigga was trying to look like Silver Surfer. He was trying to be glisten. I don't know what he was trying to do. But that's a lot, but it's not illegal. They said that there was sex toys. Again, a lot, not illegal. But there were automatic rifles with serial numbers being shaved off.
Once again, that's illegal.
Now that we got that clear.
But being real, like the type of lifestyle that he lives,
It's a given.
and I think his house is Miami, open carry.
Yeah.
You got to be ready for
Anything.
anything.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, but what is he actually getting charged with?
Okay.
Isn't it
That's my thing.
Tupac situation too, or no? I'm pushing it. So I could have.
Oh, no.
Yo, I feel like the Tupac situation is the reason why all this is happening.
So
Yeah.
hear me out here, right? So first off, the charges to address that, the two major charges are sex trafficking and racketeering.
What's okay?
All right, what's
So
what's
let's.
racketeering?
You could Google the definition real quick.
That's
I
like
got
a
you.
position.
So give me 1 second. I came slightly
Because
prepared.
I feel like they hit
All
him
right.
with the.
The Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 established the Racketeering, Influence, Corruption, and Organization Statutes, or RICO.
Rico. Okay, that's
RICO.
what I figured.
Right. It's to prosecute criminal organizations based on their engagement of activities for their enrichment.
It's to allow the government to make lies about people, and as long as the lies make sense, they could take you
So
down.
you don't think he did?
No. He did some stuff. What I'm saying is, I've seen documents, right? Not on this investigation, but I've seen documents where I know the story. I know what happened. And then I read what the government is coming with.
Well,
oh my God! It's a beautiful story that if you didn't know what was going on, you would believe it.
That's my point about narratives.
They make it make sense. They connect the dots. You sent this person this amount of money, so it must mean that she's prostituting for this. And it's like, nah, it's completely different situations. But they will lie and make the lie make sense. So you got to be very careful when they hit you with the RICO. Yeah, that's what it is. It's literally they tell the story, and as long as the pieces fit, even if it's not the truth, that's it. You're going down.
Keep in mind that, like, again, the narratives part. There's already things against Diddy and his perception. Right. You heard baby oil. We thinking this is a freaky ass nigga.
That is a freaky ass nigga.
It is.
Right. Well, but I'm saying though, like, I don't know why you need 1,000 bottles or 2,000 bottles.
You know why?
No, I'm saying I can't think of a rational or outside of that, outside of the whatever shit. Maybe he's a big fan of slip and slide.
No. We all. That's the thing.
We all know.
My thing is, since we were kids, we all knew what was going down at Diddy parties. That's why I'm like, people are acting surprised. We all knew what was going down.
That's the other side of this, right? So the sex trafficking is the charge that I feel like is the most iffy, right? Because sex trafficking has been used as a statute. They've changed the definition. Because sex trafficking is now, even if you're providing travel for a sex worker for the purposes of having sex, right? That's sex trafficking. It's no longer like it used to be like kind of associated with like kidnapping, doing things against somebody's will, forcing somebody. But now you can essentially be a willing participant, and the weight of blame will come upon the person who enabled it, not necessarily the person who is
doing the sexual act.
Yeah, doing the sexual acts or on board with the sexual acts.
So, did you guys see the video with him and Justin Bieber?
Well, see, that's different.
Like,
he's definitely tapping for. He
was tapping for the wire.
No, not even that one.
Oh, the one where he looked scared.
No, when he was like scared because Diddy approached him. He was like, "Why you ain't texting me back?"
But he does, and that's the thing. Like Diddy does that with everybody. He did that with Justin Bieber. Fabulous.
Why you ain't partying? Why don't you party with me anymore, Daddy? Yeah. I'm trying to party with you.
But he didn't say it like that. Justin Bieber was like 12 and he looked scared.
I don't know.
It's the same. He does it to Usher all the time.
Yeah, Diddy's sitting at a table with you, even in a public environment, and being bold enough to say some shit like, "Why you want to party with me anymore?"
Bro,
and you know what he
why.
That's still like, that's a little bit, it's a power play.
Yeah,
basically
of
all of this stuff, the rumors that people have been saying for years have been that it was a power play. Like it's a rush for him to have that type of
power over people.
Influence to be able to make people, make grown men essentially.
He probably beat them too. That's what I'm saying.
Nah. He ain't put hands on.
I think a lot of it is coercion.
So
I don't think it's necessarily.
You don't think
he's not putting hands on a man like that? I don't think Diddy's putting hands on. He's gonna have something over you that can damage your career. That can ruin your
extortion.
family.
Extortion is a massive.
But he's
part.
Not putting hands on dudes like that.
Did he do something to Drake?
Well, he slapped Drake.
Oh, okay.
He slapped Drake. He slapped Drake. But
okay.
That was
somebody peed on Drake. It might have been. Was it Diddy? Damn. Because I did hear that story.
Wait.
The Undertaker, I wish I had a mic, but do you remember that? You might have to repeat what I'm saying, just like reiterate it.
Yeah.
When Drake made the diss track with like the Undertaker theme music,
yeah.
He said in the beginning, like, how come you let Diddy piss on you in a movie theater or something?
Yeah. Meek Mill did call that out. He did say something about him getting peed on in a movie theater. Now,
I mean, I guess he might.
Look.
I don't think he's giving him the
and he probably
treatment.
slapped him after.
But here,
I heard that he smacked it. Yeah,
I heard the smack. I heard about the smack. But especially because it was off of I forget what beat it was. Was it started from the bottom? What beat or instrumental was it?
I can't remember.
Either way, Drake. 0 to 100. It was 0 to 100. Yeah, Diddy wanted the instrumental.
No,
Drake
Diddy had the instrumental.
Oh, well then Drake jumped on it
and he didn't do nothing with it. And Drake.
Okay, so I will say this to the point about his charges. A lot of this stuff is being put in as maybe not actual evidence because you'd have to be able to prove the injuries. And from what I understand, the rumor is that Diddy oftentimes, if there was somebody who was beaten, like Cassie, he would kind of hide them away, right? Like, you're gonna stay in this hotel room until you're healed up because we don't want people asking questions. That's a very plausible thing for anything. And that's kind of where you're going with the RICO thing. Because things are plausible and we view this person as a certain thing, you
don't
can
make it
kind of fill in
believable.
the blank. Exactly. It makes it all believable. Now, the other part of the sex trafficking and even extortion thing is that now people are starting to fear for other celebrities being involved in these instances, because these parties, yes, there were probably people there against their will, but that doesn't mean everybody was against
I
their
feel
was
like
there
I
against
feel
their
like
will.
90% of people who were there were having a good time.
There you go.
There's that little
Until people
10%.
found out.
No, there's that little 10% that got involved in certain things, and you know, it's unfortunate because the 90% might get involved in this whole scenario just because
They was there,
I
they were
was there. I
present.
took a picture on that 50-foot bed.
Yeah.
It was crazy as
you
about to go with that
far? Okay.
Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown, you said
yeah.
yes.
He's been speaking on, you know what I mean? People thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
No,
you thought- we thought he was
that video when he was like, he
insane.
gave me that boom
It's
shaka
like,
paka.
it's like, did. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that was
People
crazy.
thought he was crazy,
Yeah,
but
bro.
now
It's
It's
something
all
different.
making
we
sense.
might owe him an apology.
Just
We-
possibility,
we
man.
might-
But see, now that
Apology.
and that problem alone means that what else is like, what door is open now that something like this has been proven to be real, right?
Bro, look at Meek Mill. You seen his before,
Oh my
and now
god,
you see him now.
bro! Did y'all
That's
hear?
Diddy.
Did y'all hear the audio that security guard apparently Diddy City?
Are we talking about the same audio?
I think we're talking about the
It's
same
not a-
audio, and we were like, hopefully it was AI generated. It's not real. It's not them.
It's not them.
Look. Hopefully it's not. But just the same, there's a bunch of names who have been floated around, and a bunch of reactions. Like I'm talking about people deleting whole social medias, people closing down organizations, people stepping down from certain positions, even to the point where. You know, I'm going to try to mention as few names as possible, but this is like a very specific one. J-Lo is actually photoed. I think the Daily Mail put out a photo of her. And
the
you
Daily Mail's
you mentioned
savage.
in the 50-foot bed or whatever it is. She's in the bed, and in the bed she's with Diddy and she's with Aaliyah. And apparently this is at one of Diddy's parties, and then here's the other thing, like Diddy's parties and Diddy's freak offs. Are we recognizing them as one and the same?
No, because then it won't last like 20 days. Like
I don't know the details, but I feel like it'd be like Diddy has a party, and in certain sections of the house, there's freak offs going on.
He also had islands.
Yeah, so that's what I heard.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
it gets deep like that.
Well, you know, I do Bullying the Beast podcast with L'Oreal, and L'Oreal gets to go to these parties and stuff. Not like but like been to these parties, one or two, she said, and she says like, yeah, you gotta stay in the main level.
You can't walk around. You can't explore.
That's what I'm saying. That's
You leave
that's-
everybody
and
else.
that's what I'm saying. Most
Yeah.
people are just partying. We having a good time, celebrities, but there's a select few who get to, you know,
I mean, I think that
experience other things.
because even like Cat Williams in his previous specials have said that, like, you
Well,
know,
Shannon Sharp, he's-
walking around and you see
yeah,
something
yeah.
that you didn't expect to see. And
Baby oil.
Right. Baby oil. So that's the thing. Like, in these news narratives and even in the court cases, certain things and events will get twisted, right? Hey, so we see here that you were at Diddy's Orlando mansion at this day. This also happens to be the night of one of these alleged freak-offs. And even if you were there for the party, per se, and maybe not there for the extracurriculars, a connection can be made. And then, not for nothing, some of those people were there to have fun, and sometimes their fun might have been the extracurriculars. And like you said, with the baby oil, it's not a crime to be freaky. You know, it's a crime to certain ways to be freaky, or certain things to do.
I mean, there's definitely limits.
There's limits. But I think like the whole big point is that this was some type of thing to get dirt, because there's tapes, right?
Yeah.
There allegedly there's tapes that have people's involvement in some of these activities. And people are worried about what's on the tapes, or who's on the tapes, or what's being done on the tapes. And I don't know, man. What are y'all takes on that?
Listen, I heard TD Jakes, the pastor, was
yeah.
like swallowed up. I heard he was at Diddy's parties, which is wild.
Yeah,
That's
there's a lot
wild.
there was a whole like lawsuit apparently involving him too, and like a clergy member that went a little left. reputations are on the line right now, and
I know people getting their shit together. I feel like Beyonce and Jay-Z definitely was there, but they can't, they got too much to be touched. You don't think they was there?
No, there's pictures of them over.
No, they were. Yeah, I think that you got to understand how powerful Diddy is too, because even if you knew all of this stuff is going on, if you knew that it was going on since like the 90s essentially, and he has the power and position that he has, you get invited to a Diddy party, you're probably going. Like, I mean, now we can look at it in retrospect, like maybe that shit wasn't for me, right? But if you were in the music industry,
growing up, we kind of avoided those.
I guess.
We avoided those.
I mean, I know there was always red flags where people said like, yo, if you want to go, get signed, there's certain organizations that you should probably you'd have a better time being signed to than others.
Right.
Right. And that could have been for certain reasons. But yeah, it's like, what's that party that Lil Baby was at? It was like a white party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like Diddy's parties are at that level. Like, keep in mind, like this man has gone on like nighttime talk shows, and like you have Conan O'Brien asking you about the parties. You have, all these people. I forget other people's names, but it's mainstream. It's mainstream knowledge that these parties are places to be.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how 50 Cent is doing the documentary, and how they said that he's been gathering data for this documentary for 10 years. Wait, here's my question. He's been gathering this information for 10 years. You think he was ever invited? Because I feel like
he definitely was.
He was invited, I'm sure.
He was invited.
That's
he was invited.
Shit.
But the irony is that song, the take this money. Take this money. Not guilty because I'm filthy. 50 wrote that verse for Diddy. And if you listen to
this is like a long-term,
this is a different type of like, all right, but I'm gonna get you.
It's like, all right, one day they're gonna pull up your lyrics. I'm gonna make sure this is there.
If you listen to the lyrics, he's literally talking about the feds trying to come get him, and he kind of it's almost like it was pre-planned. Like I was dying laughing when I heard the song again.
Hey man, like I think a certain population on Twitter and everything, they're pointing out how bold Diddy was about some of the shit he would say during interviews.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
He felt comfortable.
Like I said, he was talking about the parties, and they're asking him, well, so what makes a good Diddy party? What makes the party so great? And he's like, well, you got to have beautiful women for the men. You got to have beautiful men for the women. You got to have alcohols. And then he says, and again, he's making a joke, but at this, you give a little, He's like, you got to have locks on the doors. And everybody like, at the time people laughing, but now you kind of.
It sounds a little creepy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, narratives can be spun all the time, and it doesn't help that these are years of rumors. And then you actually do have some confirmation from outside parties about some of the misgivings. Like,
but the weird part is that people have been saying this for a while. Like victims have been speaking for a while. Even Albie Shore?
Albie Shore said that he had something to do with
him being in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came out and said,
And then I'm not sure if you saw, apparently in Kim Porter's memoirs, there's points spoken about him having intercourse with a pop star, a young male pop star, and selling the tapes. And apparently that pop star was Justin Bieber. And again, these are all,
That's why he was scared. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Like, there's a bunch of stuff, and then Shine was enough. Oof. Shine was, remember when Diddy got into that trouble with the
club?
Yeah, the shooting in the club. J-Lo was there, and then that's when J-Lo distanced herself from Diddy. Shine took the fall for
Diddy
that.
shot somebody in the face, and
y'all
Shine
think
took
he
the fall.
wasn't beating people? Like, come on now.
Look again. I don't
It sounds
know.
like a
It sounds.
Rico.
Look. If he wasn't, I do think that you can be intimidated enough to know what he's capable of, and think that could come down the pipeline if you don't comply. And that's not even just talking about the career success. Because think about it. You're a rapper, and say you are, you engage in a certain lifestyle. Say you're a gay rapper, right? But you keep that in your private life. And Diddy's threatening to put that in your public life. And you know that perception, at least from the 90s on to pretty recent, that was not acceptable. It's still kind of, people have their things about
Side
it.
eye.
Yeah, it's side eye, especially if you're still like talking real gangster shit and you're like, it's a cultural thing. So if now he's threatening to destroy your brand that you've built, if you don't continue to comply, it's a possibility.
It's also like, did you guys see Neo's wife?
Yeah. Yeah, and then
his face and she was like, "Yeah, tell these people how you was like." Now they're using it as embarrassment. You went to the Diddy party. Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder like what people got going on. But now it's looking like you into some freaky shit.
You was into like I said, it's gonna come to like just you being associated with him was enough. For what it's worth, those photos of J-Lo, that one of the biggest rumors coming out, or at least being circulated, is that Ben Affleck filed for divorce because he knew of
We don't know any.
But
of
we
this.
don't.
I
But
feel
we
like
don't
there's
know.
so many speculations.
A lot of
and all
it,
that.
rumors and innuendo.
Let's just look. Let's just get the information and get the details. Because I feel like right now, and that's the problem with the RICO. The RICO is an imaginary situation that kind of puts things together
Absolutely.
and paints a picture.
Yeah.
Some of the events are true, some of the events are not, and it just kind of all together, you get a picture, but it might not all be true. So they need to come with more facts, more details. The man is guilty of something.
I mean, clearly they found possession of certain things. Possession is 9/10 of the law. So if he had the serial number guns alone, but I will say this, when it comes to the charges, right, and the institutions that did the investigations, you mentioned Pac situation, you mentioned the Cassie situation. There's a point in any civil litigation that's called discovery. And in discovery, that's when you can petition. You got to open up the books. So there's a very big chance that those things.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You solved it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We can
They're
all
like,
agree
yo,
on
we gotta
that.
get this nigga on something.
Now, if I can only prove that Raven's such a villain, right?
You been to a Diddy party?
Oh,
First of all right, let's settle this now. Right? Out of us three, G-Lo. Wow. Out of us three, which one of us would have went to a Diddy party? That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
I knew that was coming.
you.
I felt that.
Thank
I
you.
felt that.
And then you want to text him like, "Oh, Tez, what you did last weekend?" Nah, man, I was chilling. Thank you.
That's
So
wild.
what was you saying?
Don't throw that at me, man.
I can't
You
say-
see
I
this?
can't say it from now on, man.
Villainous. But we should have knew that from the last episode when Raven was talking crazy.
Oh Lord.
Wow, look at the time.
Yeah, wow, look at the time. That's
Dang,
what, this
10
is when we
minutes.
should have that next topic button.
That's what I'm saying. We
Next
need that.
But wait, no.
Each person has one next
I
topic.
saw a lot of people online who were commenting.
Yes.
So
All right, what happened? Refresh my memory.
Right.
Okay.
Because
So, Eman put out a situation where, if you aren't getting sexual attention from your significant other, if a man's being neglected sexually by his woman, does Rayven understand how that could potentially lead to leaving or cheating? Again, I want to preface this by saying, for everybody listening, reason and justification are different. Two different things. Cheating is wrong.
Across the board.
Right.
There's no justification for it.
But I want to also point out that when we've flipped the tables, turned the tables a little bit, when women find reasons to divorce, one of the, I worked for family law for a little bit. When people are breaking down irreconcilable differences, one of them that women often say is neglect. And in the event that they get the divorce or they're found to be cheating, that is their defense. Is I was neglected. He did not meet my needs. And people are genuinely okay with that. So I pose the question, is there a double standard?
I
But
feel like that was a reach.
but Rayven points out
That's
the
a
solution
reach.
is nigga just go beat your meat. So
Wow, we're putting words in my mouth, or is that
No,
what
no,
I said?
that's word for word. That's what you said.
Yeah. I
So,
said it.
are you standing 10 toes on it?
So this is what I want to say,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go back to what you said originally.
Yeah.
That reasoning and what else?
yeah, and justification.
Justification are two separate things. However, the way that you say it means that his actions were justified. So that's where I like, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, you're
so
seeing it as me saying he's justified.
You were like, yeah, I could understand because she wasn't giving him nothing.
I'm not gonna say
that's justifying it.
I just mean that.
What was you saying earlier? Cheating is what?
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
All across the board.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But and I think I said it in the clip. I said, look, whether you do you think it's wrong or not, can you just understand? Because there's a lot of women out there who play this dumb game of, oh, he cheated on me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The man came to you, had a conversation with you, and you still played
I think
oblivious.
that boils down to a lack of accountability in that department.
Sure.
Because like somebody said, and it was like I think it was like a marriage counselor person, it was like the moment that married women stop viewing sex as something that is given to men and taken from them, then they'll be in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's something that you know, I don't want to say, oh, fuck it, I'll ask this. Do you think that sexually satisfying or providing intimacy is a job or responsibility once you get in a relationship?
I think it is.
Right?
Oh, you want my opinion?
Uh-huh.
I would say yes as well.
Okay. And like any job or, responsibility, when you're not fulfilling that,
What happened?
When you get fired.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Fire me. Like, don't.
You get fired or you get.
Don't keep me on the payroll and then don't sign me up for no shifts.
You get fired or you get demoted.
Listen.
demoted is big.
You know.
No,
So
but
you might get demoted
Whatever.
to house chores.
But listen, right? If you're a manager and your staff don't show up, sometimes you gotta fill in. Right? You gotta do their role until they're able to.
Okay,
come
now
in.
if she's not doing that role for weeks.
For weeks, then you're gonna have to find a temp.
Oh, that sounds like cheating.
Nah.
Look. I get.
All right, next topic.
That's crazy. I wanted to double back to that because we had a lot of input about that.
For sure. You able to read some of that?
Yeah,
I saw some dope comments from the ladies, and I was highly surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. So we had one, it said, it's not right to wander, but I understand. Men are wired differently than ladies are. Men need that intimacy. But believe you me, if you are intentionally withholding the kitty, either because you're being petty, your career matters more than him, he's sliding. He's putting the old girl through the mattress until you get your shit together or you lose him altogether. Masturbation is not the answer. If he has an entire woman at the crib, as a woman who's experienced firsthand, I've learned to balance my career and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
She sounds very mature.
Extreme. Are we shout out? I don't know. I mean, she left the
She
comment.
put the comment up there, so yeah. Shout out to Nay for that one.
Salute. Ladies, listen up to that one.
Yeah.
That sounds like a green flag, right?
That's a massive green flag. Yeah, but I know that green is not your favorite color. Red is. So do you want to go talk about the red flags?
First of all, you're a whole red flag.
Hey, man, I just hold people accountable,
if you
baby.
ever experience any harm from Ctez, call me at 1-800.
Wow.
She's surviving Ctez.
That's wild. You got, look, man, I can get a class action lawsuit of all the men whose egos you've destroyed on the course of being in here.
Matter of fact, call me on my personal cell. You can talk about it.
That's wild. That's crazy. Don't be mad at me because you want to, you trying to put niggas in a bad position.
Ooh.
Yeah. Are you telling niggas to go to a corner somewhere and figure themselves out? What are we talking about? Yeah. Don't take marriage advice from this one. Goddamn.
Listen, don't. Because I ain't married, so.
Yeesh.
Wait, you're not married?
No.
Not yet?
No.
When's the...
Listen, I don't see into the future. I don't rush God's timing. So, we chilling.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeesh. Okay. So I was trying to see. Did you we wanted to talk about red flags and green flags, right?
Okay.
E, what is one of your biggest? You want to start off positive?
You let me know what you want.
You said that. Damn. Can you tell I hurt her feelings? Goddamn. All right. Let's start with the green flags.
Green flags. What is one green flag in a partner?
Yeah.
green flag in a partner.
Mm-hmm.
See how hard it is for a man to think of
being
something positive?
being respectful at all times.
Ooh, that's massive.
That's
Not just picking and choosing when you're in a good mood, and then when I'm in a bad mood, then I'm not respecting.
It's a shame to
Being
see when people have a
respectful.
problem of being respectful at all times,
Basic.
right?
Something
It's
basic.
wild.
Something
It's crazy,
basic.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gaslighting.
Yeah. So I think being respectful, because a lot of times, I don't want to make the generalization of women, but a lot of times women's respect depends on their mood. So if she's in a good mood, she's going to respect you. If she's in a bad mood, then the respect is out the window. And I think that's, if she's able to respect you even when she's upset at you, major green flag, possibly put a ring on it.
That's like one thing about me that I would like tell the person I'm with, like, I'll never call you out your name. Like, I don't care how mad I am. So I'll tell them, like, don't do that to me. Because, like, once you call me any sort of B, whatever, I'm like, I don't do well with disrespect because I'll never disrespect you.
Yeah, I think that is actually very, very big. And I feel like even once, like, you see or you have your disagreements get to that level, you're realizing that there's certain things there, certain elements there that you should probably separate yourself from because it's just not moving in the right direction. What's a green flag for you?
Green flag for me would be just like having integrity, like to follow through with what you say. So like if you tell me something and you say you're gonna do it, it's actually done. Like, I don't really like when people
Show they're not dependable.
Yeah, like your words don't match your actions.
That's
big.
It's a big one, but it's a tricky one. Because it depends on what we're talking about.
I just mean in general.
Yeah, no, because sometimes I might be like, yo, I promise I'm going to do this, and then something happens. I break my arm.
Well, that's different.
That's
No, because some people take it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely
like,
right.
Yo, you said it.
I expect that shit to be done. That's it.
I don't care what happened to you. I thought it was going to be. So it really depends on what we're talking about. But
I think that right there is a green flag that introduces into a red flag. Like some people's green flags can be red flags by their own like perception. Because if you're the type of person who can look at somebody, see that there was situations beyond their control, and somehow you're still raking them over the fire, I think that says that you have a red flag. Like you were a red flag there, and you don't really understand accountability. Because accountability is, you do expect people to have integrity. You do expect people to, take ownership of when they did something wrong. But you also should be giving grace to certain things. Yeah.
What's a green flag for you?
My biggest green flag is somebody who is, I told you guys before, somebody who's helpful, somebody who looks for ways to be of use to you and assist you. And that doesn't always mean like, this is not like, oh, they're your person who just works for you.
You're looking for a servant.
See, there you go. Right. There you go. Right. Right.
Surviving Cortez.
Jesus. Yo, wow. So,
I get what you said.
So what I mean is when you're in a relationship, you guys should be working together. So if somebody is having a difficult time in life, you want to ensure that you're trying to make it a little bit easier for them. And I know that a lot of ladies push the narrative that they want a man who's successful. Now, the measure of success that they want generally comes with a little bit more than just one person can bear. And honestly, if you really want that person to reach that, you should be trying to give them a little nudge. And that doesn't always just mean talking their ear off or nagging them. It means assisting them. Like, what can I help, like, lighten up the load here? Because I do understand, too, that a lot of ladies want that successful person to come into their life and make their life easier. But that ease should flow both ways. Otherwise, you're now looking for the servant.
You're now the red flag.
Yeah. You as a lady are looking for the guy who's coming in and changing everything for your life when you've done nothing but show up. You want to ensure that somebody genuinely wants the best for you. So, yeah, my green flag, somebody who's helpful. Yeah.
What about one red flag?
A red flag. Ice skates.
Wasn't he wearing those earlier? When he said Kendrick didn't.
Oh, you know, we gotta bring that back. We gotta bring that back.
Ice skates.
As soon as we finish the red flag, let's bring that back.
He was definitely skating.
Ice skates. Anybody who circumvents the blame for themselves, the accountability for themselves. Accountability is massive to me. So if you find ways to always like throw off the topic or move away from actually stating where you stand on certain things and justifying where you stand, because some people will state something and not be able to explain where they're coming from.
Let's talk about the Kendrick situation.
I'm really not.
Wait until this camera go off.
Look, we gonna get there because I see you guys itching for it, right? I'm just saying, when it comes to that, you want somebody who's gonna be accountable, stand on it, and be able to communicate. Because if you can't communicate and you're constantly deflecting, the problems will never get solved. They will only grow, and eventually, something's got to give.
I thought you said eventually Kendrick's gonna win, but
yeah.
Hey man, we had a conversation about this, but you go ahead. I know y'all want to call. Yeah,
right.
go ahead. Yeah.
red flag.
It's hard to choose just one.
Right when she's never mind. Go ahead.
Hypocrites.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of my biggest ones when people say something in one perspective and then when they go to the other perspective, it don't add up because men think differently. But outside of hypocrites, it'll probably be someone who doesn't know themselves. Like that's something that bothers me. Like you go into an environment and then you just change based off that environment. Like I like somebody who really knows who they are.
I think she's talking about Drake, but that's different.
We can touch on that too, because I feel like that's one of those that, like the being a man of your word or being somebody of your word, that you have to understand circumstance and you got to understand the goal. And if you guys don't understand the goal and you don't communicate the goal, then somebody's actions will always be misunderstood to you.
I agree.
Like you can't see the bigger picture. You can't see what's going on.
I agree. Red flag for me and a partner. Lying. I don't care how small the lie is. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. It could be something super. The only time that lying is excused is when it's intentionally for a good cause. Like, let's say if you're planning a surprise party and you don't want me to fund, cool. That's the only time that it's excused.
Do you believe in lies for protection?
No, that's the biggest excuse that people use to try to justify their actions because they don't want to be held accountable.
If it's for like a short period of time, I'm okay with it.
What's an example?
So like,
of lying for protection?
For an example, like, let's say I had to tell someone like their loved one passed away, right? Like somebody small, like my niece, for an example, right? And she's on her way to school, and she asked me like how like somebody is doing. I'm like, oh, they're doing okay. I'm not about to tell her someone is about to die right before she goes to school. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer when I know that she's in a comfortable place.
Okay,
there you go.
I can agree with that one.
I think that like when you're dealing with something that can create a massive emotional response.
But we're talking about lying, like relationship, not
that's
not
different.
Just
that's
we're talking
like
about
to say like
a red flag in relationships.
Like if you fucked up in a relationship,
Right.
like you're trying to like. That's more so keeping it for your own benefit because you don't want things to change in the relationship.
What if like, all right, let's say like, you really care about the person you're with, right? And they're down, like they're probably at their lowest point. And then they ask you like, oh, do you look at me differently? Or like some question like that. I would feel like in that situation, like I would lie and be like, no, like, you're going to get up, you're going to be good. Type of thing, because I'm not gonna kick somebody when they're down. You feel me? Like I'm not about to be like,
that's tough.
You ain't shit.
Because
it don't gotta be a you ain't shit thing. Like you don't have to be brutally honest.
Well, that's it.
Right?
They say honesty without consideration is brutality.
You could be considerate, but don't flat out lie. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like for protection, I don't know. That type of situation when somebody's low.
For me, I need an example.
That was a pretty good. If they're not doing well, maybe career is not good. It's not taking off.
Okay.
They're not in the position that they should be success-wise. They may be falling behind a little bit.
Maybe they got sick. They got,
Whatever.
skinny.
Maybe they're not looking how they should look. Whatever the case may be. This is like the, hey babe, do I look fat in this dress type shit?
I mean, that you could be. Nah, that'd be honest.
No. I mean,
the
the degrees is different.
Thing.
Like it's a small.
Me, I would have an honest conversation of like, I'm trying to think of an example. So let's say she lost her job.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a bad example because women, we don't really care
about their job anyway. Yeah.
Damn.
No, but
my money not good.
No. It's like if you're the provisionary person, you don't worry. You're not. The pressure's different, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Like the.
So I'm trying to think of an example from the man's perspective. What would be an example?
So hear me out here, right? When you said that, right? If the view of the man is so different than how you're showing him, then I think that you guys need to have a conversation because that is just too different, right? If you're like in his face, you're spectacular, you're this, you're that, you're this, and then in the other end, in your mind, you're like, this nigga ain't shit. This nigga don't have nothing.
No, but I don't want that though, because then you're gassing me up to something that
that's literally what I'm saying. Like you can't
somebody
continue
who's gonna tell me like, hey, like
we got to get it together.
I know your potential. Like you can do a lot more, but in a supportive way. Like, how can I help you get to this level? Or matter of fact, even before that,
look at that.
Green flag.
Where are you trying to go? Because it might be a thing to where he was a doctor and now he wants to.
Yeah, his direction is not the same anymore.
So the direction is different. If you're trying to push him to be a doctor, it's like, yo, that's not what I want to do.
Yes, exactly.
So first conversation is, where are you trying to go? From there, it's like, all right, how can I help you get to there or get to that level? You know what I mean? So I think those are the conversations to have. But I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, yeah, you're the best, you're the greatest, you're the.
No, that's basically what I'm saying is you got to find the middle ground because it's yes, you're preserving their feelings, but you're also preserving a status quo potentially. You're keeping shit the same. You're expecting him to like somehow turn around and just make it all better, and meanwhile, it's deteriorating your view and respect of the person. And I think that that's massive. Even not to double back too much, but our conversation about lack of intimacy. A lot of the responses I was getting too from women was like, ask her what's wrong, right? Ask her, was this, get to the bottom of the issue. I know, and you said you've asked her and there's nothing, whatever. But it's that sometimes they can't communicate that my view of you has changed. And maybe there was things about you that she loved, they are no longer present. Maybe it's not that they're not present, but you have very minimal chances to show that. If she liked you because you were authoritative, you got shit done. You made sure that people were taking orders and where they were needed to be. And now, because y'all are together, she only sees you in your pajamas watching Netflix, eating ice cream. Her perception of you has changed because she no longer has those examples of you to fulfill that reinforcement of what she thinks of you.
And that's the thing. I think that's where a lot of women kind of dive off the cliff because they do have this image in their head and they keep trying to fit their man in that image instead of getting to know the man that you're with.
But men don't show exactly who they are.
You can't.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
until you get to know me, you're never gonna know who I am.
In the courting stage, you guys are showing us your best self, right? Once you finally get the woman,
women do the same thing.
I understand, but I'm saying she's fitting you into a puzzle piece that you created.
Well, I understand that. Don't provide a vibe you can't maintain.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's a different conversation.
But I will say this though. You gotta understand that their people are multifaceted. So that part of him may be him. Right. But there's no need to be that if I'm comfortable with you, I don't need to have my chest puffed out. Like, all right, yo, that's got to be there. Why is that not here? What are we doing over here? I don't need to do that. I can be, just comfortable in my, my space.
The perfect example is women and makeup and wigs and all of that.
Oh.
I don't expect that 24/7. I have the understanding to be like, all right, when we're going out, this is what you want to do. But I don't expect to wake up next to you
and you be perfectly
face,
full.
Everything. No, I understand that you're a human.
Can I even add this? Rihanna recently got a bunch of flack because
my fault. I almost jumped off the camera. Rihanna is the GOAT.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So
please.
Rihanna recently was having an interview and she said something to the effect of, I want to be very comfortable at home. I sometimes throw my hair up in a messy bun, no makeup, But when I know that Rocky is coming home, I want it to be easy for me to transition from comfortable to being cute for my husband. And boy, did you girlies attack. My gosh. I thought that Rihanna was like one of those like figures who would constantly have her fan base and there would be no turning, like the Beyoncés, like the Nicki Minaj's. But boy, when she mentioned doing anything with her man in mind, Lord, y'all lost it.
It wasn't even y'all. I don't even agree
the
with that
miserable
because
Maggies
I feel
came
like,
around.
Yeah, it came around.
I feel like
All
when
of-
you're married, you should want to satisfy your husband in any way, especially if he is doing that for you.
Why is that too?
Look, man, I hear that, but I feel like that's another thing, right? So when you put that line up,
Especially
this
if he's
happens.
doing that for you.
The qualifiers, married, doing that for you, right? I'm a strong believer that you should be, if you're in a serious relationship, you should be doing the things that you intend to do for marriage. You should be practicing for marriage. Because
this is where, no, go ahead.
because when you're not, you're literally showing like, so you're minimizing what you can do for this
I know,
person,
so-
and then you're like, hey, I want you to see my worth.
the
I
thing
want you to
is-
see my
Before you
value.
jump in, right? What women tend to miss is that marriage is me seeing what you can do consistently. Once I'm like, all right, she could do this consistently. All right, let's get married.
Do this for the rest of our
if
life.
you're showing me that it's on and off, what is the point of me marrying
Bro,
you?
so I just want to clarify something with him because he was saying you should be doing it from the jump.
No, I mean
Serious relationship.
Serious
Okay,
relationship.
serious relationship. All right, so I agree.
Yeah.
Serious
That's all
relationship.
I'm saying.
Dating is
No,
dating.
no,
But
dating,
once you locked in and you're mine,
Yeah.
I'm yours. Let me see what it's about.
Don't get me wrong, because I do think there's levels to it, right?
For sure.
So like, all right, talking phase is the most ambiguous bullshit we do now. But to become a girlfriend, there's probably certain things that you need to show before you get there, right? Like I gotta know that you can be at least monogamous, right? Like you're not gonna be embarrassing, right? And then same, I'm sure, for you looking at a guy. Like you not out here with 50 million women, you're not doing all this crazy shit. You can be respectful. Cool. Now we exclusive, right? Now we together. I'm seeing how you treat me consistently. You don't gotta go doing crazy shit, but you're showing interest in learning me. I'm seeing your emotional potential. Now we like, okay, cool. We serious. I'm thinking about let's start seeing what we can plan. What your planning looks like, what your long-term goals look like. Now you locking in with there, and then because y'all are locking in, I'm sure that your systems and consistency work. All right, I know you go to work at this time. We can link up at this time. We're gonna go do this thing. We're gonna go do that thing. Then you're in the serious part, right? I don't know why people are intentionally minimizing their contributions to relationships and then questioning why nobody sees their value.
I feel like that's mostly coming from one.
One side.
Yeah, I am so done with y'all. Anyway,
I'm just saying. I feel like
Women Bashers Club.
not
y'all need t-shirts.
not at all. Not at all. This is the truth that people don't want to say.
No, but okay, hear me out, because I don't want you to just like, I'm gonna defend women here.
Let's do it.
There are, from when I say this, like I know you, Tez, you always coming for women. A lot of the women in my life, and I'm told I don't say this often enough, are very good women, right? Even this person to my right is an extremely great example of a woman, right? I've seen her navigate relationships, and the way in which she does so, whether they're friendships, romantic relationships, or whatever, is monumentally, it's top notch. Now, there are women who are like her who do this for men who aren't prepared to receive it, we'll say.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all can't get mad.
Yeah. And then when you experience that and you do that multiple times, I'm sure it can wear out its welcome. And at a certain point, you feel like you've been, used, right? You have nothing to show for it. You've spent a couple of years down with somebody, or even a couple of months, but you've been going hard for this person and it's never been met, right? The reciprocation has never been there for maybe different reasons. But I can understand how you then are like, it's like stocks. I put $10,000 in this stock. I lost 9 of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is different, but I'm just saying from the point of your investment. I invested time, energy, effort, love, and all these things into this person. Got nothing to show for it. You shouldn't.
Did you do the research? Because I feel like
no.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. But this is where I'm going with it, right? To those women, I feel for you. It is a reason to kind of defend yourself. My advice is for everybody is to do your research and try to find a system that allows you to vet a little bit better. And it's tough because sometimes the information isn't always reliable, you know? Sometimes people are putting up false narratives of who they are. Sometimes, but this is why you gotta find the things, you gotta look at the trends, you gotta have the conversations, you gotta try to figure out, and then even if it's worse, isn't it better to say that you put in your effort and it failed because of them than always having the question of whether it was you who didn't meet them halfway like you needed to. You know what I'm saying? I want to know that I put in my effort and did what I needed to do so I can walk away with a clean conscience. Like, like, damn, she wasn't prepared, or it wasn't the right time. We didn't align in where we needed to align. And sometimes it's that simple. It doesn't have to be malicious. Doesn't mean that they hated you. Doesn't mean that they wanted to take advantage of you. Sometimes it does, but you walk away and you know that you did what you could do.
I agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be a very hard transition, but I know that we want to get this in an episode because you guys are itching for it. Go ahead, man. Go talk about Kendrick. Talk about the Super Bowl. If you don't know,
what did you say earlier?
If you don't know, Kendrick Lamar has been selected to do the Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans. Right? One of the biggest discourses have been that Kendrick Lamar should not be the selected artist, that in fact it should be Louisiana native Lil Wayne, right? So I have the position and stance of that's great for Kendrick. Do I have my opinions of whatever?
That's great.
That's great. Yeah, hooray. No, but it's the idea that with that, my man E takes opportunities to let that show that what happened?
It's two things. First and foremost, can you just admit that Kendrick won the beef?
Let me give him 2 mics.
Just flat out.
Look.
No, don't skate. Just
there's no skating.
It's a simple
there's
Kendrick won or not.
Yeah, okay. Kendrick won the beef.
That's it.
No,
that's it.
It's not it because to the people who wanted to see Kendrick win the beef, they are not content with the overall consensus being that Kendrick won.
Olympic form skating.
That's not even skating.
Just admit that Kendrick won the beef.
Look, I can scroll through my DMs, my Twitter tags. If anything, there is always something from E-Man showing me how
Kendrick won the beef.
Not how Kendrick won, but how Drake lost. So it's almost.
Now you're putting it in Drake's hands.
No. I'm not even saying. Look, I'm saying that if you truly believe that Kendrick won, then what happens to Drake afterward is irrelevant. There's never been another beef in history where we're sitting there watching the loser of the beef and trying to pinpoint why shit ain't going their way.
No, there are. When 50 whooped Ja Rule, we made fun of Ja Rule for being an Uber driver. We made fun of Ja Rule for what's that festival that he got involved with? Firefest. So we still clowning it.
No. We wasn't like doing that. We weren't doing narrative stretches of it though.
Social media wasn't as popular.
Right. So
if social media was around, I would have sent you a meme about Ja Rule every day.
See, that's the thing, bro. Look. I think that at a certain point, you're trying to convince people who are Drake supporters to not support Drake.
Not at all. Kendrick won the beef. Maybe Drake makes a comeback. Cool. I don't know what the future holds.
He can't do nothing.
You see what I'm saying? This is what I mean. It's that people.
But it's okay.
No, it's not. It's not even that. It's the problem is that you guys don't want it to happen. And even though you see that there's still like power in the game, there's still like I've heard people try to rewrite the fact that Drake even had like successful records. I've seen people try to rewrite Drake's impact on music. I've seen people try to rewrite.
Somebody made a valid point. Somebody posted a meme and they said Maturing is realizing that we really didn't need Drake on What a Time to Be Alive with Future. Future carried that whole album, and Drake kind of rode the wave. If you go back and listen to it,
this again,
Future carried the whole album.
We had this conversation before, right? That artists and your attachment to artists is based on your perspective of the artist and your relatability to the artist.
Possibly.
Right? Possibly. Man, you sleep in a bulletproof vest and a G-Unit fitted, bro. Like, this is...
He right.
Right. Like, don't do that. Like, that's crazy.
It sounds good.
Bro, stop it.
Go ahead.
So when it comes to a situation like that, Drake speaks to an audience that may not be you, right? And Kendrick speaks to whatever he speaks to, and which honestly may not even be Kendrick's current supporters right now, which is what I've been trying to say this entire time. So Kendrick also came out with a new record where he specifically does go back into his conscious rap era. Nobody's talking about it. The only thing that they talked about was, there's some disses in it. Yeah, but nigga, talk about the actual shit that he was trying to do. That's how you know that all of this, it's less about Kendrick winning and it's more about Drake losing. The hatred of Drake has driven and pushed this forward.
All right, I'm gonna switch
Is anybody talking about?
Drake lost. I'm gonna leave it at that. Drake lost.
Okay.
But my second point was to the because you made a point about Jay-Z and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
People are upset that Lil Wayne is not performing, but Jay-Z made a valid point. If he starts going around and saying, okay, we're in New York, so a New Yorker has to perform, or we're in this city, so it kind of messes it up because let's say if they get to a state where there's nobody who, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to go down that rabbit hole because it's a very dangerous rabbit hole.
It sets a bad precedent. Well,
so
I will say that when it comes to Kendrick being the person, I don't really have any objection to it. My only question of it is, well, actually, it might not even be a question. It's just, it is a new precedent, is that it's the person with the largest record currently, right? What happens when it's a person who doesn't have the discography to really push the entire performance? Like, big records are big records. And this is not to take away from Kendrick. I think Kendrick will be fine. Kendrick's performances are generally pretty good, you know?
pretty good.
No,
You try to minimize everything. Give the man his flowers.
I'm not
like,
going to
come
join
on,
you
bro.
in glazing this man,
It's
bro.
not about
I'm
glazing.
good.
It's about
It's
being-
fine. You can have that all to yourself.
No,
you can take your time, savor it, do what you need to do with it. I'm not joining you on that, bro. You
Kendrick
good. You
is
got
one
it.
of the nicest. Just give him his flowers.
I told you he's not. I was telling you he was nice
no,
before.
I'm talking about right
you just
now.
Like, you just like the fact that he hates Drake.
I'm talking about right now.
Stop it.
Nobody mentioned Drake.
Stop it. Please, when you guys get a chance, go ahead, look back at some of the older episodes of Real and Uncomfortable when this man was actually being objective and not letting his hate of Drake take over his narratives.
I'll say it. Drake is a dope rapper. I'm not afraid to
Just
say
a dope rapper.
No, he's one of the nicest lyricists out there.
He doesn't write his
No.
music.
Drake is an artist, so there's a lot of music that he gets.
We
but
can't call him a lyricist.
Yes, you can.
No.
He definitely
When
does. He writes him, and he's written for
pen,
other people too. So, like
Drake and his team are probably the nicest. Let's put it this way, because I can't confirm that he writes everything. He might write something,
I think he has
pass
a
it
team.
on to his people, but whoever's around that circle, they're nice.
Okay.
But we're not gonna take away from Kendrick.
Nobody's taking away from Kendrick. The point is, we've had a conversation earlier where you tried to put him on the same level as 6ix9ine.
Who?
You
Try to put who?
Drake on the same level as 6ix9ine.
Oh my God, G-Lo, you were there. I did not try to put him on the same level. All I said, when we was in the studio.
You said
You
said that talent, and you were downplaying Drake because of the same things that you were uplifting.
I remember the exact
6ix9ine
episode.
for.
I started by saying that Drake and 6ix9ine are similar, and I was comparing in terms of like.
You said
not
talent
wise.
You said versatility.
Not even that. Because when I made my statement, you looked at me. It was like, oh, now we see who was bumping 6ix9ine, and I'm like,
Yes.
what do you mean? 6ix9ine, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I wasn't bumping it, but 6ix9ine did his thing. He was doing his thing.
You wasn't bumping 6ix9ine?
He never made my playlist, But
Damn.
6ix9ine was doing his thing.
This man
No. It's not that. I was defending the fact that you say he has no talent. 6ix9ine has talent. He's not as talented as Drake, but he has talent.
You saw his switch up recently, right?
I did see that. Yeah, because this man was.
But
this is what I'm saying.
That's what I was telling Tez. He's been doing the Latin music and all that, and I can hear the talent in it.
But this is
am I gonna listen
the
to
problem,
it? No.
though, is
but
that
he's talented. He's better than a lot of these mumble rappers.
You said he's talented, and then use the idea that he can do dembow music, or he's been doing dembow music.
Whatever he's doing,
that whatever he's doing, it's like he's in different realms of music,
right?
And yet you say that Drake is terrible because of him being able to do different types of music. It speaks to a point of inconsistency. I don't know who Drake even is. I'm not sure what Drake is as an artist. Can somebody please tell me who Aubrey Graham is? He's an actor, Tez. He's an actor. Bro, stop. That's crazy.
What I was talking about in the episode was the fact that 6ix9ine came in as an actor in the rap game. He was not a gangster at all. The same thing with Drake. Drake came in, and Drake is an actor. That was what I was comparing.
Let me also point out this, because this whole point has been blown out of proportion that Drake is like a want-to-be gangster, right? Now, if you look at all of Drake's music leading up to this, one of Drake's leading types of music is more so relatable to it's heartbreak Drake shit, right? And then let me ask you this, right? Being a gangster. If you were to start selling drugs today, right, and you get involved with dangerous people who do things like that, and say you have a rival studio, whatever, they're like it's B-man music instead, right? And he's talking shit, right? And you have your people go deal with him, right? And you start to have a reputation of people speak ill of E-man, some shit happens to them. That's gangster, right?
I wouldn't consider that gangster. That's not.
You're not gonna say that. That's not in line.
That's bullying.
That's not.
That's bullying.
Well, okay, define gangster to me, please, because the same.
Gangster is
oh my God! Ew! No, it's not. What do you mean?
What you said?
How many? I said coming there and doing it yourself.
What are we talking about?
Gangster to me is standing on morals and principles.
Okay, now y'all just gassing it. Now y'all just gassing. I didn't know they made skate. That's crazy to me. That's wild.
No, that's gangster.
All right, that's wild. Never mind.
I just feel like I said this
Never
before.
mind. This man just turned. He just mixed up the definition of gangster and pastor.
I've said he
said that's crazy.
I've said this before.
He said gangster. Nah, morals and principles.
Yeah.
My nigga, what?
Bro, I've said this. I've said this before.
So New Jack City was a parable about what?
Drake.
The American morals.
Right. American Gangster was talking about who?
Morals and principles.
A lot of it was morals and
Oh
principles.
my gosh, stop it. That's crazy.
But I've said this before. Drake is Aubrey Graham's greatest role. I stand on that.
That's
I
facts,
stand on
that's
that.
Facts.
Okay, but hear me out here. Do you think that every artist is exactly who they say they are?
No.
Thank you. Right?
I feel like there's a line though.
I think that once you get into entertainment, you can take aspects of your personality, but you have to turn them up.
I think that there's some artists though that come with us knowing that they have a persona.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like Drake never he acted like that's him, and that's the issue. Versus having a persona.
I think that he's just the first artist who had the
he
windows.
Started to really believe he was a gangster.
Windows.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, for what?
You ever seen Malibu's Most?
That's what I'm saying.
But for what?
Ride, punk out.
He really started to believe it.
For what it's worth. There's been stories about how whatever his affiliations with Jay Prince are, that they are navigated a certain way. Now I don't know what he's done that's actually been true, or what his team has done, or what he's pointed out.
Prince?
Nah, I mean Jay Prince. That's always full of rumors and different things. You just gotta act on what type of power he has.
The
and that's
parallel with Drake, Jay Prince, and 6ix9ine and Treyway is exactly the same.
Absolutely.
The issue is that with 6ix9ine and Treyway, they allowed him to make decisions. Jay Prince is not gonna do that. Jay Prince is Drake. Stay over there. We got this. Oh, you got an issue? move to the side. We got this.
Right. Okay. So there was a song, right, where Drake talks about a situation where he was on tour, and his tour bus, got held at gunpoint. He got robbed, basically, right? And he said that from that point on, he kind of knew that he had to move a certain way. He had to kind of insulate himself. Now, I believe that insulation affects your day to day, right? If you know now that they say that you are kind of shaped by the people who you're around most of the time. If now you have an affiliation, a long-standing affiliation with somebody like Jay Prince and all of the elements that surrounds him, then I believe it's fair to say that if you are an artist, it's going to be some rub off into your music.
I feel like that's the same way, like, just quick, like a child growing up with a big brother. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My big brother could be in the hood. Doesn't necessarily mean that I have to.
Thank
like,
you.
if
what
you
it's
be like, go
worth.
Thank you.
home, go get in those books.
Yeah.
Like, I got this. And I feel like it's separate.
No, it can be separate, but that's if the separation is created. If Big Bro says, nah, go get in the books, go get a scholarship, stay away from what I'm doing, then yeah.
Everybody said that to Drake. 50 said that to Drake. Lil Wayne said that to Drake. He didn't listen.
But which means that now he is surrounded by folks who are involved in that.
Even Jay Prince and them are telling him. I'm sure that they're telling him stay. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I know some of the nieces and you know what I mean in that camp, and it's like that. Like they know what they doing. They keep you away from it. Yes, you could come to the parties or whatever, but they tell you, yo, stay in school, do right, do this. I can help you here, but don't get involved.
Okay, all
in what we got
right. So
going on.
you saw Notorious, right?
The movie?
Yeah, the movie. You
never seen it?
You seen the movie Notorious? Oh, interesting. That's wild, right? Oh, okay.
Are
Well,
you black?
yeah, go see that when you get a chance.
Nah,
man.
I feel like the acting was trash. When I saw the trailer and all that, like
Yeah, I don't know.
When Mark J. whatever his name was, showed
Yeah.
Biggie that hit him up in the car.
Yeah, I felt that.
I felt like it was
He played
corny.
Lil C so good.
Yeah,
Didn't Notori whatever play Lil Kim?
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I'm
I think she
gonna
did a
check
good
it.
I thought she did all right.
Yeah.
I thought she did
I'm
all
gonna
right.
check it out. That's the vibe that I was getting from the trailer. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check
So
it out.
basically, if you know the story, I point out the movie because it put a good picture of the story. Biggie is potentially facing charges and whatever, and his man's takes the charge,
yeah.
right?
I know about the
And
story.
as his man's is going in, he's like, nah, bro, I need
out.
you to do this, that, or the third, right? So I think that's like, to your point, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that, yes, like Jay Prince or whoever is involved in that side of whatever protection, whatever it is telling Drake, yo, stay in the music. You don't need to do that because then you fuck up the bag. You risk fucking up the bag, right? But in rap, you tell stories and you tell things that are relative and adjacent to you, right? Kendrick isn't
have to.
Kendrick isn't
No.
out there like banging as a blood. He's not, right?
That's a perfect example.
But he raps about the circumstances and the people close to him.
I feel like he's
No,
affiliated with
Pyru. Yeah.
But he's cool. He's cool with.
Yeah, he's cool with the Crips though. He's even to your point. His last event with the Not Like Us, he was able to
Everybody
unify.
was
That
there.
was
Both,
fantastic.
yeah.
Right. So I'm just saying that you as an artist rap about things that are adjacent to you or within your circle that you can see happening, and I think that that's no different. I think the idea that because we don't.
It's very
Drake
different.
follows a trend though, because I feel like he went from like Heartbreak Drake to like, all right, now I'm Young Money rapper.
Yeah.
Then he went to some
He's riding the coattail.
like house shit, and
see.
then now he's Caribbean.
But here's my point. When you have
Who, like-
this is my point. When you said like know who you are, right? Knowing
That's the perfect
right.
example.
That is- all right. I knew that's where y'all was going. But here's the problem with that. You can know who you are, but you also have to know the mission. And if the mission is to provide and create music that's going to continue to sell and continue to appeal to audiences, it's like marketing a product. Yeah, the market may change. Your fan base may change. You may have to identify new markets. And in order to maintain, you may have to reinvent.
But that's my problem. I feel like Drake, as an actor, is gonna be whatever his label
That's it.
tells him to be.
I think
he's
he
gonna
has-
open up that pamphlet
And
all right.
for me,
Six
I
gods?
that's what I can't trust. I can't trust somebody like that because I don't know who you are. You don't even know who you are. You feel me?
He probably practiced his voice in the mirror.
Man.
You see him in
He
interviews?
definitely
I'm
does.
sure he does. But again, this is music. And I think that many of people have failed in music because they were unable to identify audiences or reinvent themselves. And then you can't be mad that people's careers have shelf lives because they were unable to move with trends. It's that simple.
I think you can, like, for Jay-Z's the perfect example, right?
Reinvention.
No. It's not necessarily about reinvention.
It absolutely is. Jay-Z is the picture of reinvention.
You could take it there.
And then that's like versus a Meek Mill.
But Jay-Z at the core has always been Jay-Z regardless. He didn't start hanging around Jamaican folks and pull up a Jamaican accent, start hanging around Hispanic folks and he did the Punjabi remix. He didn't start speaking Hindu and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my whole thing. Like, you can remain who you are at the core and adapt to your environment.
That's
true. The problem.
But don't be mad because Drake is able to be immersive.
It's not about being mad. It's about the fact that
okay, why is it problematic that Drake is able to immerse himself in the culture and to the point that the culture itself embraces him?
It's getting to the point where we don't believe it anymore.
What does that have to do?
You did a great job as an actor and the role that you played.
So do you feel deceived? Do you feel like Drake lied to you? Do you feel like a personal like thing?
Okay.
Like, is that what it is?
There's a slight piece of that. Maybe the older I get, the more I see it.
But then but see, like, I feel like, again, there's a certain level of detachment to music in the sense that I understand that you singing a song, you're only giving me a piece of what your life is like, right? I feel like we in today's music, especially in this influencer culture, we want to know and own everything that an artist has. We want to be and have access to everything that an artist does and be able to formulate our view about them from the core of who they are as a person based on the lyrics that they've sung. And we want to believe that this person is exactly that all the time. Because we have seen examples of it, right? There was people who like DMX who was just, I'm DMX all the time. That's it. Like, nigga ordering, they show about the nigga ordering fast food and the nigga was full on, turned up, barking in the drive-thru. Like, that's cool. But I do think that having layers and having certain space that is reserved for you is totally different. You yourself, you're on social media all the time, right? How many people?
He's him every single time.
No, we've had that conversation.
Right.
If you see me at a party, whatever, it's still gonna be me. If you see me at whatever event, it's still gonna be me. I'm not gonna have a different accent.
No, but it's not required of you to do that. But I'm saying though, there's still points of you that people don't know.
Drake to do that though.
No, you might not have.
No,
but if
he does that to himself to try to fit in.
Bro.
It's that person who is so like insecure that they have to, if they walk in and everybody's wearing pink, oh my God, I gotta go get a picture. No, bro.
No. It's
be you.
Again, this is why I say that it's important to know what the mission is. Because if the mission is, again, to sell records and to
by any means.
No.
So if tomorrow wearing a thong is the popular thing to do,
that's where it's going.
That's what it is. If tomorrow wearing a thong is a popular thing to do, you're gonna start wearing a thong in your video?
No. So here's the problem, right? Is that niggas started doing mumble rap, right?
Yeah.
Niggas jumped on drill rap, right?
Okay.
Niggas went from singing hooks to doing whatever they could do, right? Women rappers, they wanted to be rappers at first, and now it's just completely sex-based, right?
Pop that.
Right? Okay. So, yeah, about that. You're stupid. But the point is that, yes, you follow certain trends, or you learn to create some by identifying where there's something at. And I will say this, Drake has been called like the Thanos of whatever, and, you know, being able to, like, style bend, right? Steal cultures. Is probably how y'all want to say it,
Greatest actor. They need to come out with a movie for
now.
No,
but now, hear me out here, because it's mutual. Mm-hmm. You said Drake joined and did the dance hall type of feeling, right? He did got an accent going. That was highly welcomed by the audiences that did it, right?
That's not the point, though.
It is though
people make exceptions for certain type of people.
because now it's like, who are you as an outsider to tell them that it was wrong, that it was that they benefited from it?
I'm not asking for them to be offended. I'm offended.
Why are you offended?
Hold on, let me put it this way. It's like you know them little white girls that go to Africa and do them little TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. People are watching. Hey, they might jump in or whatever. But after a while, it's like, all right, bro, like relax, like chill out. Like you're not really from here. Like, yeah, you could play with the culture, and it's cool to see somebody a different. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's cool, but you're not. You don't feel what we feel. You don't go through what we go through. You see what I'm saying? Like my whole issue is that is Drake black?
Yeah.
Does he speak about the black struggle?
Okay, so
does he tap into that? He doesn't do. Drake is Jewish.
You're absolutely right.
He has black blood in him.
So
but Drake is Jewish.
When it comes to that, right? And we've had this conversation before. Again, it's knowing the mission, knowing the goal. Because look, hear me out here,
he
because
gonna fuck with us when he
when he pop, he gonna be Jewish.
yo, I'm being real here though, because if it look at a person like Kendrick, right?
It's about the mission.
No, look, Kendrick was not able to break through certain things. Hold on, with the music that is strictly conscious, right? It's not to say that he did not have a fan base. It's not to say that he was not successful, but there are certain levels and certain organizations, and this is not right. I literally have a problem with this all the time, is that you can't talk about certain topics and issues in the mainstream because it gets overshadowed. It will get you canceled. It will get all of these things done. People will pull sponsorships. People will claim that you're alienating certain people that have nothing to do with what is going on. You're a fan of Lil Wayne, right?
He's dope.
You're a massive fan of Lil Wayne, Ray. Don't do that. You love
Lil
Wayne.
Yeah.
You love Lil Wayne.
I said yes. Like I nodded yes.
Lil Wayne was literally asked about Black Lives Matter.
Yes, I know this. Bro, he was on drugs.
No.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
And if you really paid attention to what the fuck he was saying, I can
understand his perspective 100%.
I think you're just committed to not understanding Drake's perspective.
Okay.
I think that's what it is.
But he was just saying, like, to white people, as long as I have enough money, the fuck does it matter? Like, he doesn't have to approach them or go through them to get access to things because he already has access to them.
That's another thing too.
So when he answered
I understand his perspective because he's been with Birdman since he was 15. So there's a lot of situations that he didn't have to experience because he was around money from young. Versus if you take Lil Wayne in the hood right now, different experience.
So again, you're telling me that something early on can help determine a perspective, one, and that two, you learn to navigate certain issues based on what's most beneficial to yourself.
That's not what I said.
That's what you just said.
Oh.
That's literally what you just said. You said Ray just talked about how Lil Wayne having money has made it so that he does not have to go through certain things to get access. Therefore, because when he was asked about Black Lives Matter and systemic racism, his essential answer was, it doesn't affect me. Right. And that's why, right? And you're saying that he wouldn't have a perspective because of how he grew up and that not being a direct impact on his life. So you don't expect him to stand up on a soapbox the same way you expect Kendrick, who grew up in Compton, to.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Cool. I'm following.
All right. So what I'm saying is, when you have these circumstances, you can have support of certain issues without making it your platform, because if your platform is based on universally accepted principles or things, you don't want to necessarily jeopardize that by making it public facing.
I don't think that's where Lil Wayne's coming from.
No, that's not. I'm not talking about.
I don't see it. I'm up here. I don't see what you're talking about.
So do you think that? Okay, when
it's
I
not
ask,
a choice.
Do you think that Drake is black? Let me put it this way.
I think his father is black.
Okay,
I think Drake has black blood in him.
Just say no. Just say no. You don't think that Drake is black?
I think he tapped into the black culture later
after
on in life.
Fact,
so later on in life.
So you're saying that Drake is not black. right?
When it's
fine. So that's due to what? Drake. How was Drake raised, right? Drake, how he was with the culture he was exposed to.
Right.
So like that, how you excuse Wayne, who can't look in the mirror and see anything but black.
Tez, but Wayne's not lying about shit that he be doing.
Right.
Who's lying about what?
Drake.
What is the lie?
Okay,
Where's the lies?
Just to wrap it up in a bow, right?
Yes.
My main statement is Kendrick is a part of the culture. Drake is a guest in the culture, right? With that being said, there's certain things that Drake needs to be mindful of. I put Drake on the same level as like Eminem to a certain extent. There's certain things that Eminem has been very mindful not to say, or certain people that Eminem has been mindful not to go against. No, he's going crazy right now. Yeah. But there's a certain level of respect that Eminem has for the black culture that I feel like Drake doesn't really care. He's like, I'm getting money. I'm
so confused because when you say these things, like you're speaking as if Drake did something that was detrimental to black culture. That's where I'm. I mean, that's the only point where that becomes relevant.
Not necessarily. I've seen. Was it Eminem on the? Was it the?
No. I'm not talking about Eminem. I'm talking about what Drake. What has Drake done that's been detrimental to black culture?
What does Drake promote?
Tell me.
Sexy Red.
So
listen, that's enough for me.
So
baby.
So all right. So hear me out.
I love you.
Okay.
Everything.
All right, but who is bumping Sexy Red? Rayven.
I'm not.
Everybody.
I honestly
everybody.
So,
but it's not.
So you're right.
There's a lack of balance with Drake. At least with Kendrick, right? Let's say people be like, "Oh, Kendrick promotes gang violence, whatever." Cool. There's also a balance.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? With the messages that he has, it's not just one way. Black people need to go this way. So it's
okay if you put out the message and promote the message that's negative.
Balance.
But this is what I'm saying, because shouldn't you hold Kendrick to an even higher standard, being that he wants to be the voice of the standard?
But with that being said, he has to speak about everything. And I've always said rappers are like reporters, right?
I think that's weak, bro.
No. He has to speak about everything.
I think that that's being really weak on the principles and morals to say that this guy who is, and this is not to say that Kendrick should be the voice of that. Kendrick is the most well-equipped to be the voice of that.
And he is.
However, you cannot then say that I'm going to excuse Kendrick from this, but then I'm going to fault Drake for this without a complete bias. Just say you don't like the nigga Drake, bro. You don't gotta come up with the long, confusing arguments and shit about the.
It goes back to it. Kendrick is a part of the culture. Drake is a guest in the culture.
If you're as
a guest, you need to be more mindful of how you move.
So it's okay so long as the fire started within the culture is from somebody in the culture. If the damage done to the culture is done for somebody within the culture.
If you live in your house and you piss in the corner, right? Versus me coming to your house and pissing in the corner. We did the same thing. Is one more disrespectful than another?
Why is there piss in my corner?
Is one more disrespectful?
Why? No. You asking the wrong questions, because yes, I could be completely distracted by the fact that you had the audacity to piss in my corner. But why am I not asking the question of, did I think it was reasonable to piss in the corner? Niggas is getting too distracted about dumb shit, bro. That's crazy.
Regardless, I'm just saying, be mindful that you're a guest in the culture.
Whatever, my guy. I think that you got to be more realistic of when, again, people just want him to lose. Because even in being a guest in the culture, you still haven't told me why you want him to lose.
I don't want to
Nobody
lose.
wants
You do want him to lose.
No.
You do.
No.
You do. You want him to lose.
I think you put words in my mouth.
You celebrate every shortcoming. This man's house was flooding, and for some reason, as a line to the beef,
I didn't send
that you sent that and was like,
I think
Drake didn't lose the beef. Look, even God thinks Drake lost the beef. That's
crazy. I didn't send that video.
Yes, you did, bro.
Nah.
Oh man, look. It's cool.
Y'all just gonna have to agree to disagree.
No, we don't. Kendrick won the beef.
He did.
That's it.
He did.
That's the end of the story.
That's cool. That's it. He did.
That's the end of the story.
But he doesn't want the beef to be over. That's the thing. Because if the beef ends and Kendrick won the beef, but Drake continues to succeed, I think we said this in the beginning when the beef started.
Matter.
When the beef started, we asked how do you determine who wins? And then one of the things we said was that we don't expect this to end Drake's career. Drake is too successful. It's not like the man's gonna go bankrupt. He just doesn't have like no money. That's not gonna be a problem. You can't measure it off of success.
He just has to wait.
Right? So we determined that it would have to be like kind of a cultural shift. It would have to be like Kendrick would have to win on a moral standing. And he did. He won that. But with that said, it seems like you're still not okay with Drake's continued success in the realms that he has success.
What success?
But I'm saying, what did he do afterwards that people are talking about?
He dropped like 100 gigs and that's
nothing.
This man is still a top charting artist. What are you talking about?
He has to wait until this period is
all
over.
right, yep, here we go. Everything is gonna be described. Everything is just all right. That's no problem.
It's okay. We'll see Drake January.
Look, man, we'll see what's going on. How we want to wrap this up? Ray, you have anything to say to the people still coming at you in the comments from that last thing?
Listen, do what you got to do. Just make sure you do it well.
All right.
E-Man, you want to give us a pastoral dictation of how gangsters should be like discerning of morals and principles?
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? Just, ladies, be more mindful. Okay.
There you have it. I'm Tez. This has been Real and Uncomfortable. That's Ray. That's E-Man.
Yes, yes.
Follow us on all social media platforms. Look for us on QVision, on Amazon Fire TV and Roku.
Shout out to Legally Highest.
Shout out to Legally Highest. We out.
Looking for no handouts to say no. Always stack high and stay low. Trying to level up, better get with us. Gotta keep it real, cause you know it's about to get real.